We have Mr. Scott Cannon on the line, so let's see what he has to say today for his point counterpoint. Hello, Scott.
Hello, humans. I am Scott Cannon, coming to you live on WLTH 1370 AM from the greatest city in all the world, Gary, Indiana. And this is the Counterpoint. Well, folks, you may have seen the stories this week concerning Facebook banning InfoWars head honcho Alex Jones for 30 days, Apple removing most of his podcasts from their podcast section, and YouTube removing 4 of his videos. Many, particularly on the left, cheered Jones being essentially no-platformed, denied a space to spew his often conspiratorial views that sometimes are seen as racist, xenophobic, and out-and-out insane. Jones has maintained for years that the Sandy Hook shooting where Adam Lanza murdered 26 innocent children in Newtown, Connecticut, was a hoax, and that the children and their families were crisis actors. He's also made the same argument against Parkland High School youth, who have become household names since Nicholas Cruz murdered 17 of their classmates earlier this year. Jones is generally considered in the media to be racist, anti-Semitic, and a charlatan who pushes loony conspiracy theories to gullible bases of rubes. Jones is also one of President Donald Trump's biggest supporters, and POTUS has even shouted out the host a few times, which obviously won't do anything to stem the tide of accusations of his whole shtick being crass, crude, xenophobic, racist, psychobabble. With all that being said, Jones, as ridiculous as it may seem, is one of the largest critics of the globalist agenda that there is. Yes, Jones may peddle in the sewer and be racially provocative at times, but he's also one of the few broadcasters in America who has allowed Minister Louis Farrakhan to have a platform to talk about issues that affect the black community, like abortion, and to criticize the mainstream media's portrayal of black men. Jones also allowed Professor Griff of Public Enemy to talk about how hip-hop music has been compromised by the globalist agenda to perpetuate negative stereotypes about black people to the world. Jones has also allowed other critics of globalists, like political rappers Immortal Technique and legendary conscious rap icon KRS-One, who called Barack Obama the New World Order in blackface, to have a voice on his show, when obviously CNN or MSNBC or Fox News would have never given such controversial and unapologetically pro-black voices that type of platform. Which takes us back to the idea why even banning someone as vile and often cowardly as Alex Jones isn't always such a good idea. Because even though Jones may be wrong about a lot of things, he still provides a platform to criticize institutions of wealth and power that you just don't see in our mainstream media. All of this is being done under the guise of preventing divisive rhetoric. But just who exactly are the ones who get to decide what is and isn't divisive rhetoric? For 8 years, the Republicans accused Barack Obama of being divisive anytime he opened his mouth to give one of his usually tepid comments about race. Now the Democrats are accusing Republicans under Trump of being divisive because his bellicose and politically incorrect language. Martin Luther King was accused of being divisive about both the black and white communities, eventually dying with an over 50% disapproval rating from both races. Muhammad Ali was divisive for criticizing the Vietnam War and refusing to fight, and so on and so on. Since Donald Trump has been elected, there's been an attack on any rhetoric that criticizes the globalist agenda, led often by the same liberal elites who fought for Hollywood and the music industry to make art as violent and sex-filled as they wanted throughout the 80s and 90s, while Republicans were the ones trying to squash their freedom of speech. Now the government is leaning on tech companies like Facebook, Google, Twitter, and Apple to do their work for them and ban not just the things that are libelous or slanderous, but anything that challenges the status quo under the guise of fighting Russian propaganda meant to be divisive. Even myself, I was warned by Twitter last year about supposedly having spread Russian propaganda, and I'm the furthest thing from Alex Jones on the political spectrum. Members of Black Lives Matter and other pro-black groups have also had their pages banned or posters taken down by the tech giants at the behest of the mainstream politicians. Now, I know the First Amendment only protects us from being arrested because of our speech, but when you have entities that basically act as monopolies, such as Google, Facebook, and Twitter, who 80% of Americans depend on for our news, then you're not that far away from having your right to free speech violated. Now, I'm not saying Jones can say anything he wants, or that we should support the things that he says, as even I find a lot of it offensive. But what I'm saying is that Jones is libeling or slandering people, please take him to court. Find him guilty of slander and libel. But don't give the establishment the license to just silence someone because you don't like what they're saying. Because eventually that person telling their version of the truth that no one wants to hear could be you. All right, folks. Chop it up with me on Twitter, at The Chemist Lives. The Chemist is spelled with the K, as I am a product of the Gary Community School System. We can talk about politics, music, sports. You can tell me how bad I am at this job, or you can just listen to me every Monday from 6 to 8 on Issues and Answers with Jonathan Booth. And I swear, I know I say this all the time, but Jonathan has talked to Melvin, and the McGee Report, brought to you by our precocious hostess with the mostest, Jamelia McGee, will be back at some point in the near future. Get well to Melvin and Lloyd Fisher. I am Scott Cannon, and that was the Counterpoint on WLTH 1370 AM. God bless the working class, and God bless labor, and I am out, humans.
All right, so really quickly here, do you watch Catfish, the show?
I saw the movie. I haven't watched it.
All right, well, Neve, it's hosted by Neve and Max, and Max is leaving the show.
Oh, the other dude.
Yeah, he's leaving the show. He co-hosted the show for 7 years, but he's now, he says that it's, of course, it's just time to move on. So his last episode that will air is August 22nd. So make sure that everyone tunes in to check it out. They're not even saying if they have a replacement. So this may be something that just may have come up. Because they're in the middle of airing its 7th season right now. So it's just something, I guess, that they're just going to figure out. So, Neve may just do it on his own for now. Also, I talked about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, whose divorce is getting really ugly, right?
Yeah, it is.
So it's getting bad. And she has, I guess, said that he is a deadbeat dad. And they're saying that she is a master manipulator. And they're saying that he has shelled out more than $9 million over the last 2 years while they were going through their divorce. And he has he's given $8 million to her so that she could buy the home in which she currently lives, and then shelled out more than $1.3 million in child support.
Wow.
So I guess if she thinks he's a deadbeat, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, nope, that's what I have for entertainment today.
Wow, I know dudes won't even pay $50.
Right? Right, 25, okay? Like, girl, if you think that is a deadbeat, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I don't know. But that's all I have, though.
All right, now.
All right. Right now, it is about 7.